let's talk about this today. So I decided to get this product. I paid for it out of my own money. There's no sponsorship or anything along those lines. I saw it and I thought, you know what? I will get one just to try it out. I've got a Scan Gauge 2 on my car. Seems to work pretty well. But I thought I'd have one of these for... I know a lot of people come to me and say, oh, I've got an engine light on my car and this and that. You're a mechanic or used to be a mechanic, whatever. Can you just tell me what's wrong with it? I'm like, dude, I can't tell you what's wrong with it without plugging into it. So I decided to get one of these just for partly that aspect, and I also want to see if this can tell me the injector feedback values on my Cruiser. Don't know if it will, have no idea, but I'm going to test it out. So I thought I'd do a video for you guys, run through some of the features on this. You probably would have seen this on either, I don't know, Facebook or Instagram, or it's one of those sort of ads where it just pops up as you're scrolling through doing your own thing. So apparently it states that it can read codes, clear codes, and do custom dashboards. Obviously not on this. It's you download an app, which you've got the app on the back here, and I think this works with other apps than just this one here, so I've heard. The reason why I went for it is it's OBD to Australia. It's probably still made in China and shipped from China or whatever, but thought I'd give this company a go and see what this thing can do. So without further ado, let's get this open. One hand, of course. So you don't get much at all with it. So you just have that box, which I'll keep because I'll probably store this in the box. You have then the dongle itself, which is just your standard OBD dongle, plugs in and lights up. So let's get the app installed and I'll plug this into the car and I'll see what data I can get out of it. So the app you want to get is this one right here at the top. So you just type in OBD ELM and we'll get that. We'll let this download. Like I said, there is different OBD apps, and apparently this scan tool or little OBD adapter works with a fair few apps according to some people online. So we'll get this downloaded. Once it's downloaded, I'll plug this into the car and we'll see what data we can get out of it. So this is pretty self-explanatory. What you want to do is find your OBD port, which is under the dash here. I'll unplug my Scan Gauge and insert that in there like that. So it's getting power and the ignition and get all that going, and let's access the app. So I'm just going to re-record all the audio on this because I did do audio when I was going through the motions, but as it turned out it was going through the Bluetooth on my car and I didn't realize it at the time, so the audio is not the best. However, I run through the app, I go through all the different settings and all the different sensor readouts and things that it has, things that I do like about the app and then things I don't really like about the app, and I just run through all that sort of stuff in this portion here. So the app itself seems to be okay. It's definitely not getting used to its full potential. However, it's not getting, there's a heap of just blank data in there, which a lot of the data could be fed off the car and picked up off the car, but the dongle itself isn't receiving that information. They could receive a little bit more information in regards to like injector feedback values and things along those lines, but it does give you some other important information like your EGR. It also gives you information on your pan temp, like your coolant temp, obviously, which is pretty much pretty standard. But it also gives you AT temp. So it gives you, I think, the torque converter and the pan. You just need to figure out which ones they are, but it does actually give you all that data as well. So, and it gives you like wheel speed sensors and things along those lines for your traction control and all that sort of stuff, and ABS. So it does give you those sort of things. You can also program. You can do some programming, not too in depth from what I like glanced at. So you can get in there and you can do the like turning off passenger seatbelt warning lights and driver seatbelt warning lights. So if you're a hunter or something along those lines, and you cruise around farms and you have your seatbelt like having to be clicked in behind you, or you're in the mines or something along those lines, and you just do a lot of slow driving, but it's just up enough over the speed enough to bring on the light, then you can actually turn this off. But do I recommend turning it off for the drivers? Not necessarily. It is there for a reason, but yeah. And you can also program a few other things within the body control module, and like unlocking doors and just little things. And I think there's remote start and all that sort of stuff, and you can pick and choose where you can start the car from. If the key fob's anywhere near the car, you can allow the car to start, this and that. I just left it set to literally in the driver's seat is the only place you can start the car from, because you don't want it started anywhere else. So yeah, there is a lot of things where the app does excel and a lot of things where the app doesn't. So I just run through all the stuff here, setup of it, things along those lines, and yeah. So all in all, what are my thoughts on this little OBD scanner? If you are looking for an affordable, cheap and affordable little scanner that you don't really want to fork out a heap of money, like you don't want to be buying one that's $200-300, or you don't want to, fork out $10,000 for like a shop equivalent tool, but yet you want to plug into your car and you want to be able to clear codes and check out some basic data, I'd recommend this. It is actually an alright little scan tool, if you want to call it actual scan tool. It's more like a little reader, but you can program some stuff. Like I turned off my passenger warning light, so you can do things along those lines. But where it lacks and where I'm not super happy with it is it doesn't give you a little bit more feedback with like injector values and things along those lines, things that are very easy to grab, just being like a reader like this. But yeah, would it replace my Scan Gauge 2? No. I have my Scan Gauge 2 connected all the time. It gives me the data, it can clear codes, it can do a lot of what this can do without the programming part, and it's just a lot more convenient. It has the screen on it and I use that. But if you are looking for something that you just want to have it plugged into your car and you want to just check it on your phone every now and then, it's not something that I would recommend you drive around with all the data up all the time. It's probably something where you have it set up if you're looking for a problem, or you just want to read the data for that particular day or for that particular thing. Then yeah, I'd recommend it. Or you want to clear some codes, or you have some mates that need some codes cleared out of their car. It's light, it's easy, small. You throw it in your pocket, you go and clear your mate's codes out of his car. You can tell him what's wrong with it and go from there. However, the thing that I did find is whether or not those codes are accurate. I know for a fact the code that it found for the power steering was not actually a fault with my car. So it may have like a generic code list, and if it doesn't find those parameters within your car, it may give false codes, which that probably isn't good, because if you don't know what you're looking for exactly like what I was looking at, I'm like, nah, straight away I knew that wasn't a legitimate code. That's a problem with either the app or the dongle itself within the software. It hasn't found something that it was looking for. And you can have that on the bigger scan tools as well, whereas it just looks across all the models, and some models have like electric steering or something like that, and it doesn't find it and it's not happy with it. So yeah, that's where you got to sort of know the difference between what is a real code and what is a false code. But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty good little thing. I paid what, $30, $39 for this, and it's I would recommend it if you just want to